We start with our today's session. In the last session, we had looked into functioning of peripherals. We saw timer peripheral and the special function register associated with it, tmod and tcon. Then we saw serial peripheral and the registers associated with it are scon and sbuff. Then we looked into interrupt and the registers associated with are interrupt priority and interrupt enable registers. Then we saw arithmetic logic unit. It is the main component of CPU, central processing unit, performs arithmetic operations, logic operations, and the status of operation is stored into a PSW register, is what we saw in the last lecture. We had started with the flag register PSW, processor status word. So this is the flag register, 8-bit flag register. It is bit as well as byte addressable. And there are 4 arithmetic flags. They will be set or cleared by the operations performed by ALU. Then there are other 2 flags which are called as register bank select flags, and the user will decide whether it should be 1 or 0, right? And then we have a user defined flag which is denoted as F0, right? So we will see all of these flags in detail. So we will look into the first carry flag. Now this flag is the last bit of the flag register, PSW.7. It has a dual function. It acts as a carry flag during addition as well as a borrow flag during subtraction. Correct? And when do we say the flag is set? Whenever during addition a carry occurs from bit 7, we say the flag is set, or there is a borrow required by the bit 7, the last bit, we say that the flag is set. If not, it is cleared. Okay, so we will take an example. Assuming accumulator, the data stored is FC hex, right? And I'm writing an instruction ADD A comma hash 07 hex, right? Now this is a way of writing an instruction. See, in the earlier lecture, we had seen one symbol at the rate. At the rate, wherever it is, it indicates the ahead mentioned register is a pointer. Similarly, hash, the sign indicates whatever number is written ahead is data. If this hash is not written, then this 7 becomes an address. So there is a meaning to this sign. Hash mean the 7 hex, whatever is written ahead is a data. So what are we going to do with the help of this instruction? ADD A comma hash 7 hex. The data from accumulator is added with 7 hex and the result is stored back in accumulator. Okay, so let us see the addition. So accumulator has FC. F is 15, 1111, and C is 1100, FC hex. The next number is 7 added with 0, 7. So 4 zeros and 7 is 0111 in binary, and we are adding them. Now by now you might be able to do binary addition. So we start with the lower bit LSB. 0 plus 1, the answer is 1. The next bit 0 plus 1, again the answer is 1. 1 plus 1, the answer is 2. So 0 is a sum and 1 is the carry. Now the next addition is along with carry. So 1 plus 0. Again the answer is 2. 0 is a sum, 1 is the carry. Right? Again the answer is 2. 1 plus 0 and so on. Let us look directly at the last bit. The last addition is 1 plus 0. Mean the answer is 2. Where 0 is a sum bit and the 1 is the carry. So that is the 7th bit. Why on addition of the 7th bit, there is a carry generated. Hence, the carry flag will be set. That is PSW.7. This bit will be set. Okay. Now, similarly, if we were performing a subtraction operation, if the 7th bit, that is these last bits, required a borrow, then the borrow flag will be set. If not, it will be cleared. That PSW.7 bit will be stored with 0. Right? So this is called the carry flag. And whatever addition and subtraction we are doing, it's unsigned. I'm not telling you that FC is a positive number or a negative number. I'm just saying the number, the data is FC hex. We are not mentioning whether it is a positive or a negative. Hence, this is called as unsigned arithmetic. Correct? So this carry flag deals with unsigned addition and subtraction. Is that okay? Now the next flag we have is auxiliary carry flag, and that is PSW.6 bit. Now auxiliary carry flag is to be considered during BCD arithmetic operation. BCD stands for binary coded decimal. So the BCD numbers, valid BCD numbers, are from 0 to 9. These are the numbers written in binary, right? So 0 to 9 are called as the BCD numbers. And when we are performing BCD addition and subtraction, it is only then we should consider auxiliary carry flag. So when does this auxiliary carry occur? See the statement. When does that carry occur? If there is a carry occurring from bit 3 to bit 4 during addition or subtraction. Correct? Now, what is that? Bit 3 to bit 4. Now, let us see an example. We have taken two BCD numbers, 4, 9. That's a BCD number. 2, 9. So, 4, 9 is written in BCD. Look here, 0, 1, 0, 0 is 4. And 9 is 1, 0, 0, 1. This is 4, 9. And 2, 9. So this is 0, 0, 1, 0. And 9, 1, 0, 0, 1. Is that okay? So the BCD is binary coded decimal. That's a decimal number represented in binary. Fine. Now we are adding these two numbers. And what are we talking about? Auxiliary carry. So auxiliary carry, this is a bit 0, bit 1, bit 2, and this is bit 3. So whenever there is a carry occurring from bit 3 to bit 4, we say the flag is set. Correct? The another way to explain this is, see, whenever there is a carry occurring from lower nibble to upper nibble. Now, what is a nibble? Group of 4 bits is called as a nibble. Correct? This 4 bit is called as a nibble, and that is a lower nibble, and the other 4 bits are called as upper nibble. So whenever there is a carry occurring from lower nibble to upper nibble, the flag is set. Auxiliary carry flag is set. Is that okay? Now, why do we want to consider this flag? If you remember, whenever we performed BCD addition, right? Though the numbers are in BCD, addition happens in binary. And if the answer is greater than 9, since it is in binary, you might get 10 A, B, C, D, F as an answer. Whereas A, B, C, D, E, F are binary numbers in hexadecimal. Correct? Those are not BCD numbers. So then we convert those invalid BCD numbers into valid BCD. And how do we do that? By adding 6. On binary addition, if I get an invalid BCD number, we add 6 to that number to get a valid BCD answer. So when should we do that addition? There are two conditions. When the auxiliary carry flag is set, we are definitely going to get an invalid BCD number. This is the first condition. And the second condition is if the answer is greater than 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, those are the numbers greater than 9, mean invalid. That is the second condition. So there are two conditions which indicate it's an invalid BCD number. And what are those two conditions? If the auxiliary carry is set and if the answer is greater than 9, it's an invalid number. We add 6 to the answer to get a valid BCD number. That is where this auxiliary carry flag is important. Is that okay? That was auxiliary carry flag, PSW.6. If there is no carry, the bit is cleared. It will show 0. Okay. Now the next flag is user defined flag, PSW.5, and it is denoted as F0. User defined flag, what? It is used for general purpose operations. Mean, as a programmer, I can use it to indicate some event has arrived, so operation is going on, or the operation is completed. To get these indications, I can make use of this 1-bit flag. Right? See, an example is given here. Suppose I am interfacing one push button key to microcontroller. Push button is what? You press the button and immediately you release it. When you press the button, suppose logic 1 appears on the pin, and when you release the button, logic 0 appears on the pin. Is that okay? If I do not check the key, the time it is pressed, my operation of the program will not be correct. Functioning of the program might not be correct. So as soon as I press the key, it should be detected and let it remain detected till I complete the operation for the required key. Correct? So that is where I can make use of this flag bit. As soon as the key is pressed, I set this flag bit. Correct? And then I check the flag bit to go to do the operation required for that key. Is that okay? Mean the key pressed, I have stored it somewhere. Hope you are getting me. Later on, even if you release it, it does not matter. Is that fine? Also, if you want in your program, once the key is pressed, let the necessary operation be over. In between, if you press the key number of times, it should not be detected. Is that okay? So for that, even I can make the use of this F0 as right. I'll check the condition of the flag and I will enter the operation required by the key. Once the operation is over, I will clear the flag and come out. So in between, if n number of times you press the key, that will be ignored. Hope you are getting me, students. This is how I make use of that user defined flag. Okay. Another example I can give is, this is what we normally do. If there are multiple functions written in the program, whether I am inside a function, come out of that function, that can be indicated by the flag. As soon as I enter in the function, in any function, I make the flag bit 1. And when I exit from the function, I made the flag bit 0. So whenever I enter into another function, I check whether I am in some other function or whether I have exited the function. Is that okay? Fine. So that is how I can make use of this flag to indicate some event or to indicate some operation is going on. Okay. And I can access it as a bit. So you have written an example below. I can set the bit by writing an instructions setb, set bit. Which bit? PSW.5. Mean this F0 bit. And clearing is the instruction CLR, clear PSW.5. The next two flag bits are selecting the bank. Right? Hope you all remember I had said we have 32 general purpose registers. They are denoted as R0 to R7. These are the 8 registers, right? Such 8 registers are in 4 sets, which we call them as a bank. And they are denoted as bank 0, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3. These are the 4 banks. Each bank has these 8 sets of registers, R0 to R7, correct? Whenever I want bank 2, see I have written an example here. If I want to select register bank 2, then how will I do it? I'll be writing those bits as 1, 0. Mean I will set PSW.4 bit and I will clear PSW.3 bit. That is how I'll be writing 1 0. Mean the programmer has selected bank 2. Mean I'll be using those set of registers R0 to R7 registers of bank 2. Are you getting me? By default, when we reset microcontroller, bank 0 is selected. Mean R0 to R7 of bank 0 are selected by default. So PSW and W4 and PSW.3 are 0 0 by default. Is that okay? So such 4 banks, if we go on changing the banks, I can get 32 general purpose registers. Okay. The next is the overflow flag bit. Okay. Now overflow flag bit is again to be considered when we are performing signed arithmetic. Signed arithmetic means addition and subtraction of one positive number, one negative number, or addition of two negative numbers, or addition of two positive numbers. Mean we are specifying whatever operation we are performing is a number positive or negative. Correct? Students, how is that indicated? Whether the number is positive or negative? By the sign bit. It is the last bit, MSB bit. That is the bit 7. If you have an 8-bit data, 0, 1, 2 up to 7, it is the 7th bit which indicates the sign. Correct? And that is also called as the sign bit, the D7th bit. So whenever that D7th bit is 1, we say the number is negative. And whenever the D7th bit is 0, we say the number is positive. So overflow flag deals with signed arithmetic. Correct? And now when is the flag set? See the statement. Carry occurring from bit 7, carry occurring from bit 6, but not from bit 7. Or from bit 7, but not from bit 6. Now what is this? We will just take a look. In accumulator, we have stored our data dB hex, right? And this is a signed number. We will see whether it is positive or negative. And we are adding dB hex with A1 hex. ADD A comma hash 0 A1 hex. Right? Now see down, D means 13 1101. This is D. B is 11 1011. So the first number in accumulator is DB. Is added with A1. A is 10 1010 and 1. It's 0001. Now what is the number, whether it is negative or positive? Check the last bit. The 7th bit is 1. Mean this is one negative number. DB is one negative number. Correct? A, the last bit is 1. Mean this is also a negative number. Mean what am I doing? I am adding two negative numbers. When we add two negative numbers, the answer should also be negative. -2 plus -3, my answer should be -5. Correct? So just look at the addition. Look at the last bit of the answer. It is showing 0. Mean what did it happen? Addition of two negative numbers resulted into a positive number. This is another indication of an overflow. Is that okay? Adding two positive numbers is resulting into a negative answer, or adding two negative numbers is resulting into a positive answer. That is a sign of overflow, to be very simple to explain. Correct? Now let us look this statement. There is carry coming from, this is the 6th bit and this is the 7th bit. So when we add the 6th bit, there is no carry entering in the 7th bit, but the addition of 7th bit is resulting into a carry. Can you see this? This is the carry. And where is it coming from? From the 7th bit addition. So look at the statement at the end. Correct? Carry coming from bit 7, but there is no carry coming from bit 6 is an indication of overflow. Is that okay? Right? Let us look at the second example. We are adding 5B with 41. So 5 is 0101, 5B. The other number is 4, 1. What sign are these? Look at the 7th bit, the last bit. The last bit is 0, mean 4, 5b is a positive number. And the second 4, 1 is also a positive number. So we are adding two positive numbers. And look at the answer bit. The last bit in the answer is 1. It means it is saying two positive numbers result in a negative answer. How is that possible? No, it is not. Mean what has happened? There was an overflow. Adding two positive numbers is resulting into a negative answer. Is an overflow. Correct? What that was actually, whatever addition we got, that last one was a part of the magnitude. So there are insufficient bits to represent a magnitude. Are you getting me? So that is called as an overflow. Correct? And look into the statement. There is a carry occurring from bit 6. When we add bit 6, there is a carry coming into bit 7. But when you add bit 7, 1 plus 0 plus 0, there is no carry coming from bit 7. So bit 6, carry comes into 7. But bit 7, no carry. Results in overflow. Hope you get me, students. Right? And what does that overflow mean? There are insufficient bits in the magnitude to represent the answer. Is an overflow. Fine. Hope you all are getting me, right? Now the next is the parity flag. Right? Now that is the last flag bit, parity. Right? In somewhere in digital, you all might have come across parity codes. Even parity, odd parity. Correct? Now, what does that odd parity and even parity mean? How do we count when we say it is odd and when we say it is even? In that 8-bit, we count logic ones. How many logic ones there are? If there are 3 logic ones, that 3 is an odd number. So we say the number is of odd parity. On counting, if I find 6 logic ones, it means the number has an even parity. Correct? And why this odd and even parity is used? See, whenever we transmit data, the transmitted data and the received data should be correct. And to check that, we make use of this parity. So these are called, parity is used generally for error detection, right? During transmission. Okay, that's the use of that odd parity and even parity, right? So in our case, the parity flag bit, that is the LSB bit, PSW.0. And what is that? If the accumulator has odd number of logic ones after an operation, the flag is set. Correct? So the parity flag set indicates the answer has odd number of logic ones in it. Fine? Specifically the accumulator. So we have taken an example here. DB hex is added with A1 hex. So D is 13, 1101, B 1011. The earlier example itself. So DB is added with A1. Correct? And on addition, we ignore the carry. Right? We ignore this. And we only check the 8-bit answer of accumulator. And we count ones. This is first, second, third, and fourth. So there are 4 ones in the answer. There are 4 ones in accumulator. Hence, it is even parity. Even parity means the parity flag is cleared. If it is odd, the flag is set. Even, the flag is cleared. Is that okay, everyone? Right? So this is that flag, that is that parity flag bit. Right? P is equal to 0, indicating there was an even parity. Right? Now, please do not mistake. The answer is 74 hex. The number is even coincidentally. Right? It does not mean since the number is even, we have even parity. We need to count logic ones. See, if the answer was 63 hex, 6 is 0110 and 3 is 0011. How many logic ones? 6-3 hex mean there are 4 logic ones. Correct? So 6-3 hex if is the answer. There will be 4 logic ones in it, which is again an even parity. And the flag will be cleared. Is that okay? So that was all about our flag register, right?